So right where the line is, that's where the disc is that they're going to be pulling out and then replacing it. And then the gel will be able to go through, gel-like substance will be able to go through like it's supposed to normally, and my spine will be back to normal. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lady J, and welcome to another episode of Straight Vibing with Lady J. I hope y'all are remaining positive and blessed through this world of craziness. It's September 1st, y'all. September 1st. Where the fuck did the year go? This is what I want to know. Like in 3 weeks, we're going to be in the fall. I just can't believe how fast time flies. It's like 24 hours just doesn't seem like enough hours in the day. So today I wanted to touch light on my surgeries, my spinal surgery, and what had God brought me through that journey. So prior to me starting this, you've seen a little clip about me talking about my spine. So that was the imagery that they had gotten from an MRI. So I was out of town and I woke up one morning and I had been feeling some kind of sensations in my neck and in my arm, but I woke up this specific morning and it just was even felt worse. And it was really bothersome, very uncomfortable. When I came back home, I went to the doctors. The doctor had went ahead and gave me a prescription for 2 weeks to see if that was going to go. He said he was going to get me, make an appointment for me for the MRI and to follow up in 2 weeks. So I had did that. So that put us to like at end of February, somewhere in there. So anyways, I went for the follow-up appointment. He asked if I had gotten an MRI appointment, and I stated, yes, I did. It wasn't until June 22nd, and he asked if I had been put on the cancellation list. I said no. He says, well, make sure you call me, but get put on the cancellation list. Fair enough. So I went ahead and did that, and within 3 days, I get a call for an MRI, and the MRI was in the beginning of March. So, okay, cool. So March, go for the MRI. So next thing you know, I get a call and they're referring me to a neurosurgeon out of their office to further discuss what was going on. So I had met the neurosurgeon and he had explained in that, as you've seen in the imagery. So we're just going to use this as an example. So your vertebra is naturally curved. So I had stenosis, as you heard. So what happens over time, your body has wear and tear and you make movements and your body breaks down, bones break down, and your body reproduces the bone, calciumated bones. So what has happened at that point is that when the bone had reproduced itself, it grows back rigid. And as you've seen in that imagery, the fine, thin line, it was pressing up against that. So the surgeon at that time says, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at surgery late summer, early fall. So that was going to put us in the pocket. He was stating between August and October. He said he wouldn't wait a year because a year would be too long. And if I was to get into a car accident and hit from the back, I'd end up paralyzed. So, okay, let's do this. Let me know when you're ready to go. So April comes around. I'm going to New York for my birthday. And I get a call like the week before I'm leaving, and they were telling me that, they had an appointment for the 12th. And I'm like, I can't do the 12th. I'm out of the country and it's my birthday. And, oh, well, no, that's okay. There was just some beds that had freed up and we thought we would call you. So when, we get beds that free up again, we will contact you to make an appointment. Fair enough. So we get to April 10th. I get a call from the hospital again saying that they have an appointment for the 18th. I'm coming back April 17th. So I was like, okay, cool. I said, I'm just going to be back from New York. We'll go ahead and do this. Went to New York, came back. Next morning I go for surgery. I'd come out of surgery and recovering. My best friend's with me. And so the surgeon asked me, how I was feeling. And of course, you can see in the imagery, they went in here and of course, I had been on the table for 3.5 hours. So they infused C5 and C6 together is what they did. And then they put a cage in my neck to stabilize it and 2 titanium screws to hold it. So here I am, Miss Bionic Woman right now with this thing in my cage. So the surgeon asked me, how am I feeling? And I'm like, well, sore, but how did the surgery go? He says, it was good, but not that good. And I'm like, what do you mean, not that good? When they went in, there was more calciumated bone than what the MRI had detected. There was 5 millimeters on each side. I don't know if my American friends know what millimeters are, but our metric system, 5 millimeters is half a centimeter, which would be what? You figure out the math. There's 2.5 centimeters in an inch. So you break it down, pull it up on Google or whatever. And I was just stuck. And I was just like, wow, like this was all God's doing. Because initially, I wasn't supposed to have an MRI till the 22nd of June. I had surgery April 18th. So he left. I looked at my best friend and I'm like, did I just hear correctly? Did I just hear right what he said? She's like, yeah. And I was just like, let me tell y'all something. Lady J is always go, go, go. I've had a couple of people call me Hurricane because I just don't sit still. I just keep it moving. Um, to know I was that close to being paralyzed, y'all don't understand how that shook me. How, when I talk in previous episodes about my life being changed in the last 3 years, that's what set it. That's what set it off. It, I'm still in awe. Some of you may believe in God, some of you may not. That's your choice. For me, he has proven to me that he's real. So we're going to go fast forward 10 months later. I'm back in for another spinal surgery this time. So C5 and C6, they have infused together and have put a cage around it to stabilize it with two titanium screws holding it in. They went back in 10 months later and removed disc C7, and they put an artificial disc there, which is two. So I am technically bionic woman in my neck. I've got 4 titanium screws and a stabilizer in my neck. For those that may have questions, can I hear it? There are times, depending on the movement and stuff. Yes, there's it's, you know what though? I mean, it's all. I'm just thankful that I'm here, that I can walk and I can talk and I can feed myself. I can wipe my ass. Like, y'all don't understand how something like that just rocks you. So, yeah, so they just, again, it's degenerative changes. Your body just changes over time. And now I'm going through some lower back issues. And of course, things are going crazy here, and they're not advising surgery, but physiotherapy isn't working. And uh, what do they call it with the pins? The name's on the tip of my tongue. You know what I'm talking about. With all the pins, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but I've tried different methods. The medications, we won't even discuss the medications that they have put me on. It just won't work. They put me on Lyrica. That shit won't work. Um, it's just been a forever ending cycle. But to be the person that I am, and to have that in front of me happen to me, how can I not believe God is real? You can say divine intervention, coincidence. I mean, you can slice it and dice it however you want and whatever you want to believe in. But regardless, I was saved from a totally different way of life than I know my life to be. And since then, that is what has shaken me to my core to this day, of being thankful, being grateful, appreciative. And since that time, I've been faced with different situations, encountered different people. I've lost loved ones. And all through that has brought me to state of mind that I'm at right now where I'm at peace and I'm just content with life. And we just take so much for granted, not just even like waking up in the day and being able to do the things that we do, but just our health. Some of us aren't so lucky as others. I have a friend who has heart failure. I have posted about him a couple of times on one of my other social media platforms, and he has had, he's waiting for a heart transplant, but he has been hooked up to all types of machines to keep him alive, oxygen, all that. Yesterday, he posted pictures of what they've taken out of his stomach as far as fluids. They removed 20 pounds of fluids out of his stomach. And now he's bouncing back. And doctors only gave him a 1% chance of living. He's been in there since July, and he's doing miraculously well. So, my thing to you is you just never know what you think your life is meant for this path. This is where you want it to go, right? And you know you're going to have to take little side roads, maybe, and sometimes you try to take shortcuts. And no matter what is meant for us, good or bad, will be, and it will be based off of our choices, right? And sometimes we need something that's going to shake us and bring us to our knees and make us realize of what's important and what isn't. I still sit there every day thinking I could have been paralyzed. Lady J could have been me, the one who loves to get on planes and travel and do things and be spontaneous and go, go, go. I can't fathom that life. God saved me from that. God has saved me from that and so much, from being kidnapped and taken into the game to all that kind of thing. Like, all I can do is just be thankful for where I'm at now. I'm still a work in progress. I will continue to be a work in progress until I'm taken home. But this is my purpose right here. This is my thing, is to share my stories and to reach out to those that may need to hear this story. You might be, have no faith, or just feeling weak, or just feel defeated, or like you don't have purpose, or you're not loved, or you're not appreciated, or that could be the furthest from the truth. You got so much potential. You have a reason of being here. For ones that have attempted to take their lives, you're still here. You have a purpose. I don't know what that purpose is. I can't answer that for you. But you are here for a reason. You are loved. And no matter what life throws at you, you hear me preach about it all the time. You have to find something, you have to find a blessing in that situation. There's a blessing in the lesson. a blessing in the lesson for the ones that speak the lingo. But there is a blessing in every lesson. It's up to you to figure out what that lesson is, for you to find the blessing in that lesson. Because sometimes there's more than one or 2 points from that lesson. But you got to dissect it and grab what you feel is meant for you, or what you can take from it. You know what I mean? So it's nobody said life was going to be easy. There's no shortcuts. There's no guarantees. We just have the now. There's no guarantee in anything. But the one thing you can guarantee is that you can take the initiative and learn, allow yourself to learn from your choices, whether good or bad. You can be in toxic relationships and you can take something from that. You can, I mean, there's so many things when you look at a situation, and it's just custom made for you to figure out what it is and what it isn't, you know. I mean, I think of, out of anything that has happened in my life, and I've been spared from so much. I mean, I could easily, when I was kidnapped, I could have been easily kidnapped by the wrong person and, killed or what have you. And that wasn't meant for me. That wasn't, I'm here. I'm here making this video. But it took, as much as I went through what I went through my whole life in different scenarios and raising my kids and bad relationships and friendships and situationships, it took something of my physical being, something that I could just be like this and wouldn't be able to move. I can't imagine that, just sitting here still and just not being able to do nothing. That would be my life. I'd have to have people around me taking care of me. It just blows my mind. So you look at that imagery and to see how close I was to being paralyzed. How could that not wake me up? How could that not shake me to my core? And, I had to go through those months leading up to this point of healing and, still going through my personal stuff aside from the physical shit. But it made me appreciate life more. And that was the key thing to really get me started as to reassessing my environment, how I lived. And so some things, it did take me a while to cut shit loose. It did take me a while to love myself. I mean, like I've stated before, it's going to be a year on the 8th that I finally have learned to say no to motherfuckers. Because saying no to somebody was like, oh, I'm going to be rejected. And I don't like rejection. So, okay, it makes me happy to see them happy. But I wasn't making myself happy. So even though at that point it was 2 years of having surgery, I still didn't love myself. Again, you have to go through the motions sometimes. Sometimes, and I've said this before, a lesson will keep repeating itself until you learn that lesson, right? So I just had to show you guys, I had to show you the images of what I was faced with. And to, they pounded on my chest. I had tools like, man, the first surgery I had, I asked a friend, should I watch the video before or after? Because some people, they want to know what's getting done to them. And my friend was like, wait till after surgery. You might fuck yourself up. So I waited till after I was done the first surgery to watch a video on YouTube to see exactly what they did. And then the second time, not knowing I was going to be going for a second surgery 10 months later, but I ended up going for the second surgery and I was already prepped for what was to come. And to be laying on a table for 3 hours straight and freaking, I mean, that right here. So I've had my throat cut 3 times, twice for surgery. Prior to that, I had my thyroid taken out. So I take Synthroid every day for the rest of my life because I don't have a thyroid. So think of it, within that was 2015. So 2015, so 3 years I've been cut into 3 times. Bionic woman in the neck. I can't do any extreme things. I can't, even if I dance and do stupid shit like this event, like if I'm moving my head like crazy, I'm gonna feel that. Yeah. So I can't, it's not as if I'm a skydiver anyways. I don't do typical white people shit, but a lot of things I just can't do now. I have to, my lifestyle has changed towards certain things that I cannot do due to my thing. But I'm grateful that I can actually still walk and do things. And the thing was is that I was starting to notice, and through that, my speech was being slurred. Like there was little things that were slowly coming into play, and you don't realize how much this affects your neurological neurosurgeon, hence neurosurgeon. It's all part of the brain. And just going through that, man, let me tell you, when you hear certain things from a medical point of view and what was at stake and what came with, why? I'm telling you, like even having a little bit of a slur in my speech, that really frustrated me. I don't know if people around me caught it, but I caught it. I'd be like, why? Like, ugh. But that's what I was faced with. So just know that everything happens for a purpose. Just find what the purpose is for you. Find the reasoning as to what it is that you went through and what it is that you can take from it to help you grow and to help you get out of wherever you're stuck. If I can overcome this and still push forward, you've got it in you to do it too. And as I tell you, don't let the thoughts and mindsets of other people distract you and make you think less of yourself. Because people will always come and go. People will always have their opinions, thoughts, and feelings about shit. You can't change that, but you do have the control to change you and your life and your thought process and where you want to go and what you want to do. So to this, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for vibing. I love y'all so much. So we're in September. Keep your eyes and ears open. New content, new segments. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not getting into it any further. So until then, y'all have a blessed night. Thank you so much for vibing with me. Until the next vibe session, keep vibing, whatever your vibe is, and I'm out. Love and appreciate and respect each and every one of you. Have a good one.